What's going on, guys? Back here at the shop with another pile of boxes containing some really awesome stuff that I'm super excited to show you guys. It's starting to become a pretty common theme, which I'm not mad about. And for some reason, every time I try to make one of these videos, it's raining. So again, you may hear some rain sounds. But today's box is a very special box that I've been waiting on. It is from Fortunato, and if you are not familiar with Fortunato, they're a really amazing suspension company based out of Virginia. I highly suggest looking into them if you've never heard of the brand, because just a simple browse on their website will show you that they are like a step above. And I absolutely love this company. So big shout out to Nick Swan and the guys at Fortunato for working with me and believing in me for the 2020 season. I had Fortunato coilovers on the car, from the beginning. I set it up with some 510 Drift Series coilovers. They worked with me on spring rates and valving and things like that to get the car to do what I wanted to do. And so now we're stepping up from those to what's inside this box. And I cannot wait to show you guys, so let's get on into it. My weapon of choice today is not a dull razor blade, but is a flathead screwdriver. And I'm going to be starting a GoFundMe soon for a proper knife. Be on the lookout for that. I'm joking, but... So I imagine I know what's in this big box. I'm going to open up this little one first and see what we got. Uh-oh. Alright, so the first thing I see makes me nervous because although this hat is super sick, I do not rock hats very well at all. But if you've seen my last unboxing video, you gotta wear what you get, man. You gotta represent. So I got a ton of peanuts. I'm just gonna go ahead and dump some of these out. I got peanuts for sale. If anybody's interested, I gotta fund this program somehow. Oh man, dang, Fortunato boys hooked it up fat. Got a straight swag bag over here. I don't know if there's anything else. Let's have a little peanut party. Get my Al Pacino on over here. All right, let's see what's in the swag bag. Man, this is super hype. One thing I will say off the bat about Fortunato is their colorways are freaking awesome. Like, you can just see between the box, the shirt here, the stickers, it's all just like popping like crazy. It's super cool. So we've got some Fortunato patches, which these are sweet. I've never gotten a patch from a company before. So coming to a driver suit near you. We got some Fortunato stickers. These are sweet. I don't know where these are gonna end up. It's a cool design. And then I am a part of the Fortunate Few, which is the hashtag / Cool Kids Club that you become a part of when you join the Fortunato gang. So last but not least, we got not one, but two Fortunato t-shirts. So this one here is sick. This is actually kind of like a weird fact, but this like heather color is like my favorite color of t-shirt ever. So good choice. Whoever's on top of the merch at Fortunato's killing it. That one's pretty sick. And then this one here, what do we have? Fortunato Competition Development. Sick. So as you can see, the merchandise is on point and in true T-Gar Lights unboxing fashion. Alright, so now that we are all outfitted properly, go ahead and get into the main event here. Big thanks to the guys at Fortunato, because that little gear pack there was super sick. I'm excited about it. And thanks to Fortunato for making a giant hat, because my head is huge and I can barely find hats that fit. But I gotta say, this thing's is doing it for me. All right, so the first thing you see upon opening this up, which is another reason Fortunato is so amazing. So first and foremost, Fortunato coilovers are all hand built, and they're all hand built according to you and your specs and what you need and your needs, whether you have a track car or a daily or you do a little bit of both. Obviously my car is full-blown track car. We'll never see the street, unfortunately. Well, I don't know, maybe one day, but that's far-fetched. So basically you tell them, hey, you know, my car is going to be built for this purpose. And they say, okay, well, your coilovers will be built to do exactly that. And it's one thing that they say, you know, we can build this stuff and we'll make it tailored to you, but it's a whole nother thing that it comes with a certificate of assembly. So this basically has your spring rates and everything, and yeah, it tells you who it was built by. This is awesome. So I thought it said my name on here with the wrong last name, but it turns out the guy who built these, his name is Tyler. So shout out to Tyler, building coilovers for all the Tylers of the world. That's awesome. So yeah, it's got, I mean, everything from when it began, you know, where it traveled throughout the facility, what spring rates it ended up with, the valving, like all that stuff. So it's super detailed. You've got instructions here about tuning everything in, getting everything set to exactly where you need it. You know, like just very thorough instructions to show you exactly what you're going to need to do. We have shock dyno information, so every coilover that they produce is put on a shock dyno and very thoroughly tested before it gets to you. And then this is yet another graph, so I'm not really sure that I want to be showcasing all of this information at the moment. So we'll see what we end up doing in the editing process here. But yeah, so super stoked on this because right off the bat you can tell that these coilovers were designed for me, you know, as the hashtag implies, hand built for me. And these guys truly represent, you know, here, hand built in America by the enthusiast for the enthusiasts. So let's get into this thing and see what kind of pieces of art are in this box. First and foremost, another encounter with the peanuts, and I see lots of braided lines. So what I have in this box is Fortunato's Dreadnought Pro two-way coilovers. So as you can see, we have a pretty traditional coilover, but we've got a remote reservoir here. So these are obviously all bubble wrapped, and I'll go ahead and get those taken care of. But these are going to allow an insane amount of adjustability. You know, the 510s that I had on the car before were already amazing, and in my opinion, the most responsive coilovers that I've ever ridden on. And, you know, I've had various different brands of suspension on my cars in the past, and I can say, totally unbiased, that Fortunato was the most responsive coilover that I have ever ridden on, and I tell people that all the time. So, as you can see, we've got 4 of these bad boys in here. Oh, and they are weighty, nice and stout, covered in peanuts. And let me get this out of our way and get this organized so you can see just how beautiful these things really are. So we got these guys out of the bubble wrap, and I am not even going to play games. This deserves montage. In my last couple videos, I've just kind of had everything laid out on the table while I discuss the details, but I thought in this video it'd be kind of neat if I just went ahead and threw one of these coils on the car and just kind of showed you guys what it looks like installed and kind of give you the rundown. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, here we have it. I've got all 4 corners taken care of, and I have to say that these things look even prettier in the car than they did on the table. Hopefully you enjoyed that little montage, but we're here inside my dirty fender well, which obviously this is very much still in progress, so forgive me. But yeah, this thing is solid. I mean, I got in touch with the guys a few weeks ago and said, hey, this is what I'm looking to do, this is what I would like, and they got everything sorted for me. Shipping was extremely quick, which obviously that'll help because I live rather close to them. They're up in Virginia and I'm down here in North Carolina. But these bad boys are made of 6061 T6 aluminum, and the construction through and through is amazing. So you may have noticed that this is not a brand new coilover, at least not in the mounts, the body. But what they did was they took my existing 510s and then machined them to accept all of the new parts. So that saves a bit, in the long run, because I purchased these a long time ago and I didn't have to buy a whole brand new set of coilovers. They just converted these into the remote reservoir Dreadnought Pro 2-ways, which is what these are. So you can see I've got the optional Swift spring upgrades, and yeah, everything in here just looks really, really stout and solid. Fully customizable, fully, valveable, rebuildable. Everything that you want in a coilover is right here. So I'm gonna take you up top and we'll kind of see what we got going on up there. But before we do, I guess the last thing I should mention while we're down here is the radial bearings that they use up top. It's kind of, the top hat pivots on, and that bearing has to be a high quality to ensure nice smooth fluid motion, in every axis really. So I have here an example of a crap radial bearing. You can see that after a while, I can shake the crap out of this thing and it's just falling all over the place, so that's no good. But that was just temporary to hold me over until these bad boys got back from the boys at Fortunato, and here we are. So we're up top now, and this is where all the magic happens, I guess you could say, as far as adjustability is concerned anyway. So here you can see the top of the coilover, the camber plates here, so this is where you adjust your camber. And then we've got the remote reservoir, which is the newest addition to my suspension setup. So basically we have fluid inside the coilover and fluid inside this reservoir, and that's basically how your suspension is going to work, is controlling the speed at which that fluid is moved. So you have a dial here and a dial here, and this dial here is going to control my rebound damping, which is basically as the shock is decompressing, you can control the rate at which it does so, and you have a knob here to do that. So I don't know if this is the best comparison, but I'm going to do this just implying that you are not familiar with how suspension works. Imagine this like a spigot or like a water hose. Basically, as you tighten this up, that's going to close the orifice in which that fluid passes. So as you tighten this up, the suspension will respond slower to motion. So, opposite of that, as you loosen this knob, that will soften up the suspension by allowing that fluid to travel faster. So what the canister allows me to do is further, adjust that suspension in the fact that I can control my compression now. I can control the rate at which the shock compresses. So there's a knob here, just like this knob. It works the same way. So if I turn this clockwise, that's going to close that orifice the fluid passes through, and it's going to make things move slower, stiffen it up. So if you're at a track with some real big bumps and things, you can control how your suspension responds to those bumps, and it's really pretty neat. Let me try not to drop this thing, but this is beautiful. I could look at that all day. But just to show you kind of, not all suspension is created equal. This adjustment is not available in this junk temporary coilover that I had. You can see it's simply just, a threaded rod up here with a nut on the top, and again, that crappy bearing. So with something like this, you just kind of get, what you get. And with this two-way adjustable compression, rebound, 2 ways of adjustment, hence the name, you really can fine-tune what your car is going to do and how it's going to react on track. So I'm really excited to play with this stuff and kind of get the car dialed in to do exactly what it is that I want it to do. And much like the front, you can see that the shock here has the beautiful machining that I was talking about to convert these into the 2 ways, because it still utilizes almost all the same components that I had when they were just 510s. And same story back here. I've got the remote reservoir to control my damping for compression, and this will control my rebound. So all these beautiful additions mean that I have twice the adjustment that I had before. So if your suspension is lame and your ride height is too, it might be your time to join the fortunate few. Alright guys, despite all my stupid jokes, I hope you've been enjoying these unboxing videos. I've been having a lot of fun making them. I just wanted to give one last huge thank you to Nick Swan and the entire team up at Fortunato. I've had a really great ride with them the past few years, and I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for us. So that's about all I got for you today, guys, and we will see you in the next one.